Welcome and welcome to Living and Loving Each Day, bridging so that you popped in today and to listen to us. And so excited just for you to be joining us in this episode. We've got a wonderful lady today. Loretta Lee is going to be here to talk to us. And we just want to remind you that this podcast is where we share in informative and inspiring stories, and we explore ways to overcome challenges and to build bridges and just to build connections that truly matter. So that's why we're here. And before we dive in, I want to encourage you to visit my website and just to subscribe and update. You'll get updates on a regular basis, and you'll get access to some of the exclusive content that we're going to be building in there, because this is kind of that building and growing process. And so you can head over to suejansen.ca and sign up today, and it'll be great to see you there. We can also share conversation there too, if you like, if you have any questions or anything you'd like to get off your chest. And so let me now focus on our beautiful guest today. So this is the wonderful Loretta Lee. I love your name. And women entrepreneurs caring for children with adaptive needs hire Loretta to grow their businesses. And but while maintaining a family stability. And most, she says, are just sick and tired of struggling and with business demands and drowning in their caregiving responsibilities. And we know, my audience of parents with children with adaptive needs, you know what that's all about. So she's here to help us and to give us information and support in the areas of creating a thriving business. If you perhaps are also caring for your children and trying to run your business, and with full-time intervention, and ensure that their care receives the children receive the best care. Of course, that's what we all want too. So Loretta founded, coached, and grew 3 companies in over 7 figures. And she's talking the high level, high ticket programs that she has. And she's a sought after coach, and she's a trainer and speaker in business and management and leadership. And she's won so many awards, but I'm going to let her tell you more about her right now. And I want to welcome Loretta. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Susan. Thank you very much for inviting me. I'm so grateful to be in your podcast. It is a really, really good opportunity to help me to reach out to people who I can share my knowledge and my expertise. So I was in a podcast last year, and the lady who interviewed me, and I was telling her my story, and she said, Loretta, what you did is something special. And I told myself I should really, really don't keep this to myself, but to share with as many people as possible, especially women entrepreneurs. So
Exactly.
how I got started here is, Susan, if I may, introduce myself.
Yes, please.
Yes, I actually got into this area is because my daughter, I have twin girls actually, and one of them has autistic spectrum disorder, but she's very high functioning. So when I came to the UK, I became a carer to my it's really a life-changing experience. So I
Mhm.
haven't been employed since I came here, although I had a business previously. And to get out of the stress of running looking after my children, and the stress that something that I don't understand, and the new education system which I'm not used to, it was really, really stressful for me. And also, when I first came here, when I found out that my daughter was not normal in some sense. So I got her, referred to the camps, which is the children and adolescents mental health services, but they refused her. So it took me 2 years to go around the local pediatrician. And in that period, it was very life-changing for me. It was very difficult for me. And it was like I'm in a different world, you know. So I met with a lot of parents, and later when my daughter was diagnosed and actually did have a label that she's autistic, which is very important because
Mhm.
without the label, we're not able to get the help that we need. Because in the UK, most, if not all, of the services that we get for special needs are free, but it is limited, and you've got to sort of try and, the word fight, which I don't like to use,
Mhm.
to go for it. So when I joined a lot of these parenting group organized by the school and the local council, or we call it the local authorities, whom they give the money to us. And some of these organizations are also charities. So they organize a lot of meetings for parents. And I see how these parents, go about trying to get the services for their children.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw a lot of anger. I saw a lot of blame. I can understand why we feel that way as parents, because it's a very, very stressful period and we feel so ashamed and embarrassed and we do not know how to do. So when I saw these parents doing that, I told myself, I'm going to do something different.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to make those people who are supposed to help me happy to help me. And I had a strategy. My strategy is giving, showing gratitude. I love to cook. So I share some of my cookies with them. So I try to build rapport with them. And it took many, many years before I could, of course, social services ladies change, because it's under the local council, they move people about. And we have several. And as it took a few years for us to work, and then I was given this lovely woman who was able to put everything together. So she pulled together the police. I have to deal a lot with the police because my daughter was very badly bullied in school. And she always comes home and tell me, Mommy, you must report it to the police. I say, how do you know? She said, look, I look at the computer. This is what you can do. So almost every day I'll be reporting the cases to the police. So I have to deal with the police. I have to deal with the head teacher because of the bully. I have to deal with social services, autism outreach. In the UK, we have an organization called Autism Outreach. This organization actually helps school to to try to give them support for children with special needs, especially autism. So this lady, before she went, she was when she came over to UK when they were 10 years old. In the junior school, they were very happy, but in high school,
Mm-hmm.
because the gap between her emotional development and her peers gets bigger and bigger, and that's where the problem started. And I
Mm-hmm.
remember the day before she went to the college, the social worker arranged a meeting for us. Me, the vice principal, the SAN head, the SAN deputy, which is her teacher, two social services, one autism outreach, one police, and
Wow.
me. Eight of us, and she is there, sitting around a big table in a school conference meeting, talking about my daughter's future. And
Mm.
I was so touched. I was really, really touched. I can never come across a situation like that, you know. And along the way, there are many parents who come and tell me, Loretta, this thing is not good. I've already fought for him, for my son. So next time you go, it's already set up for you. I have that sort of support, all
Mm-hmm.
because I have a vision that I will get the best support for me and my family.
Right.
So every time, and that at that time, um, there was a new rule that the students or the pupils can ask for an education and healthcare plan, which is
Mm-hmm.
provided by the local council.
Yeah.
So she was one of the first of those to apply for that. And at that time, everything was so new. They were just thinking about how to do this, how to do that, and all that. And every time we have a meeting, there are about six ladies sitting with me, talking about her future.
Mm-hmm.
So one
That's.
day I told these ladies, look, I'm really, really grateful. You know, I don't know where I'm going. Everything is new to me, but I feel like I'm a wave. I literally feel that way. I feel like I'm a wave, and the wave is like carrying me to I don't know where.
Mm-hmm.
And you people are actually the wave.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I'm surfing. So I said,
Yeah.
you're carrying me to I don't know where, but it's a safe place,
Mm-hmm.
you know. So I said, I like to thank you a lot. I'm ever so grateful. And then one of them said, Loretta, at least you want help.
Mm-hmm.
There are some people who do not want help. I said, you sure? I said, yes. And I can understand because when I first started, I was so ashamed and I didn't know what to do. I don't even know what to ask because I was very new. And I'm sure there's a lot of parents out there, parent carers, who feel so ashamed that they have failed in some way because they have a child with special needs. And they have got no one to turn to because they do not know what to ask. I remember one time when I wanted to ask about my daughter, and I went to see this lady. I said, I'm going to ask about my daughter. Why is she having so much difficulty at home? Why am I having this thing with her, not communicating with her? So I went to there, and then you know what I did? How do I get my, I asked her, how do you get my daughter to do homework? And my daughter didn't even have homework, but I just couldn't bring myself to ask for the help that I needed because I felt so emotional.
Mm-hmm.
And when I left there, she said, I can't help you. I don't do homework. I just cried. I just cried.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of parents there who are suffering, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and they just do not know what to do. And I would like to reach out to them, you know, to
Mm-hmm.
speak to them,
Yeah.
to having a lot is mindset here.
Yeah. And just to clarify, Loretta, you are sitting in the UK, right?
Yes,
So
yes,
we are sitting, my audience and the majority of my audience, and I do connect with a lot of them locally in Edmonton,
yes,
Alberta, Canada. We're close to the Rocky Mountains, West Coast Canada. We're not West Coast, but close to the coast. So, but we can still, glean from what you're saying, that there's parents out there who want that support. And we do have programs that give support here too. So we know we can, it's very similar. Sorry about if you hear ringing bells going off. That's sorry about that.
yes.
But
Yeah,
that's okay. That's the rest of my household. It goes on as I go on here. But so just so you know that I just wanted to clarify that at the beginning that that you are sitting in the UK and that but we can empathize, and just understand where you're coming from because a lot of the parents here feel the same way or a lot of the parents feel the same way, but we need that support and we need to ask for it, because we have, in Canada here in Alberta, my granddaughter has cerebral palsy and she's in the school system, and I was a special education teacher, so I understand what is out there, but we do have to
yeah,
ask, we do have to ask.
yeah. And I think the most important thing is our mindset and how we communicate with them, how we
Hmm.
deal with them. And another problem I find that if like for me, I have two daughters. And when there's more than one, especially one with special needs, by default, we spend a lot of time on that person. As a result, the other one feels lost, feels
Oh,
unloved, and
yeah.
it creates a lot of issue.
Hmm.
One day my daughter asked me, I told her to do, look, this is the chore that you've got to do, and that's the chore your sisters have got to do. So one day I told her to do the choices. Why is that? My sister get away with it,
Yeah.
whereas I have to do it.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
it's perceived favoritism.
Yeah.
So I have to tell her, look, do you want to be like her? You're not her. You don't have a disability. I don't want to treat you like you have a disability because my role is as a mother. And as a mother, I want to bring you up with living skills, so that when you go to college or when you start working, you can have you have the skills to live on your own. But your sister doesn't want to do it because either she's incapable of doing it or her brain doesn't work like normal people. So do you want me to treat you like you have a disability? She says no.
Yeah, and that's one thing
Because-
we tell all our families that we treat our
Yeah,
children who have adaptive needs and we accommodate those needs, but they can do whatever we can do if they,
yeah,
if we help them with that,
yeah,
it's not that,
yeah.
yeah, we don't try
Yes,
to,
yeah. So for mother who is actually working and having a business or whatever, to me, is bringing a family that is harmonious, which is the thing that we should aim for. Because if we don't have a harmonious family, there'll always be, the family dynamics is very upsetting and it creates extra stress. So it's so important to have a family that's harmonious, especially if there's more than one child.
oh, of course, oh,
Yeah.
that all members of the family have to come together, yeah,
Yes.
yes, for sure. So tell me, what are some of the programs that you offer to help parents?
Yes, now I'm offering a program called the Carers Empower program, where I help parents, parents, carers, cope with their business, or if their business, especially because I have a business background, and how to make sure that the business, to improve their business in such a way that they don't need to have full-time intervention.
Hmm.
So you set up the system, you learn how to delegate, you learn how to organize the business in such a way that you can take time off, you know,
Hmm.
with a peace of mind. Yeah,
Yes. Yeah.
yeah.
Good. And
And
so,
yes,
yeah, do you have clients here in Canada? Do people reach out to you? Because you can do everything online, so you don't have to be, we don't have to be close, right? But you could,
yes, I currently have a few clients in the UK because I'm just starting. So I'm now sitting and talking to you is a good
I know
place to,
it's great to,
publicize myself.
Yes, exactly. No, that's why I've met you a few times on some of the coaching courses that we are on together.
Yeah,
And I
yeah,
liked what you were doing, and I appreciated what you were doing specifically. Might not be able to go to 9 to 5. Now you can't go to work 9 to 5 out of the home because you have to be home to
yeah,
help, care for your child.
yeah,
Even if you have
yeah.
respite workers, you still are committed to being,
Still, yeah,
to being
yeah,
there. So this gives them the option if they want to start their
yeah,
own business. And
yeah,
that's where you
yeah.
come in, is where you can help them do
Yes,
that.
yes,
Mhm.
that's correct. Yeah, and yeah, that's very true. And I think the main thing is the person's mindset, how the person looks at the thing, and how positive and how much communication and the action that you take to attract the people to help you, so that it's
Mhm.
easier. You won't be banging against, because
Yeah.
I have spoken to quite a number of people, and there was one case when we were supposed to go to this meeting with a lot of parents with children with disability, and there was this lady who was so angry, and for no reason, she just screamed at everybody. And a lot of people want to help her, but they can't. They can't help her because she's blocking.
Yeah.
So it's important that we have an attitude of receiving as well, not only giving, but receiving help that we need.
Mhm.
And that will change quite a lot of. I find that when I ask for help, you genuinely ask for help, I
Yeah.
get it.
Yeah,
You know?
exactly. And it
Yeah,
takes courage to ask for help, because you're
correct.
feeling, like, like you need that you're not equipped your own self, but people do understand. And I know this for a fact, that people do understand that, yes, if you need, they appreciate you asking them. I
Correct.
find that the people who are asked, they really appreciate being asked to do things to help out, and nobody can do it all themselves. I mean, it takes, like they say, it takes a village, and so that's important that we know enough to say, it's okay. I'm doing my very very best, but I do need help in this one area.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
And then I think being open, communicating, like for me, communicating with the council workers, the autism outreach.
yeah,
And there was one stage they says, look, Loretta is very easy to work with. They seldom say that to their clients.
yeah,
Loretta is very easy to work with. She's very open. I don't keep any secret about my daughter.
yeah, yeah.
I even tell them this is what works best with you if you are to approach them. So we
Hmm.
work as a team. So I
Right.
work with them as a team for the solution for my daughter, not fighting with them to get the thing for my daughter. So
Yeah.
we got to change our belief system and our mindset.
Yeah, some
Yeah,
parents do feel like they have to fight for everything, and it is,
yeah,
when we do approach it with an open heart, and that we want, because other people do want the best for our children too. Like, I'm,
yeah.
some professionals are out there that do want to help,
Yes,
but you're
yeah,
right. We have to be open and willing to accept that help, and
yeah,
be, not be too demanding or too negative. I guess we have to be a little more positive just when we're asking. I think, because
yes, yes,
it makes people just want to help and say, yes, of course, I'll help you. It makes you more
yeah.
approachable.
And do small things, like for example, when I went back to Malaysia for a holiday, I wrote a postcard to the doctor. I said, "Oh, doctor, wish you were here." Blah 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 blah. And of course, the postcard reached there after I came back. But anyway, in the next meeting, he said, "Oh, Loretta, thank you so much. It's very nice of you to write me a postcard and things like that."
Yeah,
So these are small things that you can make people feel good, and it's also showing your gratitude and your
yeah,
thankfulness to them. So
yeah.
that changes a lot of things.
It
Yeah.
does. It puts it in a more positive path. Loretta, thank you
Yeah.
so much for being here today. I really, really appreciate this. And it's so nice to meet you right way across the oceans. We're so far apart, but we have made that connection, and I really do appreciate that. So tell the people how they can get in touch with you and what you've got coming up in the next few months.
Yeah, next on the 19th, I have a program. It's a Dream Builder program where I help you caregivers to have a life, because I feel happiness is your right. So this
Mhm.
program will help you to put it in a state that to look at your life 360 degrees, where you want it to go and what makes you happy despite all the rubbish that we're having.
Mhm.
We must not stop, thinking of about our own happiness and our own growth. And I
Awesome.
also have a download for you, which is a resource on how to manage your time. It's called 11 Tips to manifest more time for yourself and your business, whether you're working or you have a business or you're just a full-time carer. So this will help you to get more time for yourself and to help you to relax more. So those are the things that we have. And you
Okay.
can contact me by I think I have my website with you, right?
Yes. Yeah. I'll
You
put that
can,
in the description and I'll make sure that they
yes,
have
yeah.
the that information.
It's
Yeah.
www.loretta.lee.com. It's very
That's perfect.
simple.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. I will make sure that's in the program notes. So everybody, thank you so much for joining us today. And I hope you were inspired just a little bit and that I'm so nice to have Loretta with us today. And please go to the program notes will hold Loretta's website and where you can access that those self-care tips. And so thank you everybody for joining us here today. I really appreciate you being here. I appreciate you just being out there. And again, so nice that we could just spend this little bit of time together. So Loretta, thank you for being a lovely guest. I really appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Susan. Thank you, everybody, for listening in.
Bye.
I hope you find it helpful.
You too.
Bye. Ciao.